Hello there, everybody. How is it going? We're in week 8 of SPL. Isn't that something fun? That's pretty crazy. I honestly am mad at myself when I think about certain aspects and life commitments. But we're in Try Hard Tuesdays, so that means that we're only going to relish in these commitments. I mean, we're 8 weeks in. It's only one more left, and I guess I'm done with this commitment that no one forced me to do. No one asked me. But I'm here to give it to you anyways, because I think at the very least that if you guys do like it, then who knows? Maybe you'll find it useful even in a year. Maybe you'll have something to look forward to when the next SPL happens. But we've come a long way, and so I'm just going to announce the matchups real quick. Century Express versus Jester. Fear versus Siatam. M Dragon versus D4. BIHI versus Alice. That doesn't ring a bell. Yep, that's BIHI not from the Wi-Fi Wolfpack, because that would be him. So, okay, moving on. And Conflict versus 4Gs. So these matchups are pretty fun. I hope that you guys will enjoy. I've seen some of the games, and they were all pretty good. I have to say that, when we first started off, we probably had expectations that this tournament might not have been as good as it once was, but I've only seen improvements in this metagame, and so yeah. So, Century Express versus Jester. We're going off Lax on Lax with the Sleeping Foy. Jester's going to go with a double edge. We already explained last week why going for double edge first is reasonable for some people. You get, it opens up teams. It's usually just a good damaging move. Guarantees some extra chip on phasers, things like that. But it's also just good for Lax because it enables your Zapdos. So, Century Express is going to be the first to get the spikes, and they're probably going to stick because unless Jester has some off Starmie, it doesn't look like he will be spinning. Cloyster can be a spinner, of course. And we do see 4 Golem Gengar with an early boom, but it takes out this Lax. And this looks to be that famous Nightmare Starmie team that I believe Sulcata was the first to bring ever. Although I always get it mixed up. Is it Sulcata? Was it Fear? Forgive me, Fear, if I make a mistake there. So Jester's going to get his spikes. And there it is. Lo and behold, we do see Starmie. This isn't a spin. It would be very weird. So yeah, the Starmie has a sub, and it has the potential to dodge Thunders and then force the Zapdos into this weird rest loop because its 4th move is Nightmare. And it's pretty funny because Nightmare on a Mon that does not have any sleep move, Starmie doesn't learn Hypnosis, which is pretty weird. So yeah. And right now, Century Express is doing 2 things. Besides dodging, or at least attempting to dodge Thunders, he is expending a lot of Thunder PP, which would really enable his team. And he dodges another, and every time he dodges Thunders, it puts him in a huge advantage. So far, Jester has used 12. 12 Thunders just to strike this Starmie. I don't know what this Void in the shell is, but Gengar comes in with a much more accurate T-Bolt, but it is going to take some damage in the process. It's not going to 2-hit KO. So what's he going to do? He's going to go for a Hypnosis, trying to predict damage turn. It's all for naught, because then it puts the... Well, the Starmie blanks it, of course, with the sub. In comes a Jolteon. Jolteon double elect of some sort with Jolteon. That's kind of interesting. That's nice. With Licks and Gengar and Cloyster, that's kind of cool. I like this compared to most other double elects, but whatever. Nobody asked my opinion. Licks comes in. I don't really have all too much to say right now. It looks like Century Express is in a good spot, but Jester has a Jolteon, so it outspeeds everything. It's very fast. With the Steelix that's healthy, it's going to be able to threaten the Lax, and that's pretty much the only thing in the way of this Jolteon. I guess if you don't count Zapdos. I believe that Jester's Zapdos is out of range of Surf, so... But Jester is going to go for the aggressive Thunder there. Not wanting to let Century Express go for a Nightmare Cycle, but he only has 2 Thunders left. And he misses the last one. Oof. That really sucked. A Surf would have killed here, but that doesn't matter because Starmie... Well, it sort of matters now. Because, yeah. 37. No, actually, it wouldn't have killed. Lax coming in. Lax can still do something. Well, I mean... Actually, Century Express is the one in an advantageous position. At least for now. Yeah, the Jolteon's going to go down. Had it been Growth, maybe, then things might have looked a little different. He could have BP'd to, say, Gengar. That would have been scary. Things like that. But he's going to boom on the Zapdos. Probably not an intentional target. That's the last Thunder. And now the Zapdos has to use Rest and Sleep Talk. At this point, the game is pretty much over. Licks can't come in. Zapdos has to use Sleep Talk and break through the subs. So it has to use a miracle to do that. Get like 21% rolls each time. And it would have to get so many in a row that it's not even funny. And it can't because it would have to fall asleep again. So this game is pretty much over. Lightning quick. I'm just going to speed it up for all of our sake. Century Express is the... besides any mistakes, any sort of like choke from Century Express, this is just a victory. Oh yeah, there's that. He could PP stall. Oh wow. He actually used all but one sub. So it's not entirely over. So he subs, okay, but he kills Gar at this range. He kills Licks at this range. So the Gar's going to go down. What does he plan on doing? Jester needs the Licks. There's one sub left. If he can just break it. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We'll see. Ooh, a crit. Oh, Lord. He had to have calced that. That was... Oh, well. Yeah, there wasn't much that Jester could have done, I guess. And down goes the Licks. It's not a guaranteed Oko, that Surf, so... Actually, it doesn't even Oko at full. But with Spikes, it might be another story. Now, we got... I might as well change the tune. Here we go. Remember to check out this channel. This guy is Scarum. Go and check him out. I used him in the last video as well. We have Fear and Siatam. Now, Fear, up until this point, has been with the second or third highest record in this tournament. He's been performing super solidly. Siatam has had some unfortunate runs into much stronger players, or players that were at least a little bit more prepped. But he has some wins under his belt too, and we can only hope for him that things will go better. He was very solid in the GSC Invitational too, as you guys all know. So let's see how this goes down. We got Lax on Lax, Curse, and I would imagine Curse. Well, I imagine that, but actually there are players that go double edge into Curse. So we'll see how this goes. For now, it's just lots of pressure from the beginning. And by pressure, I mean that this is very scary, because at this point of the game, you really don't want to switch out until you're absolutely, positively, 1000% certain your opponent is going to use whatchamacallit. So they actually don't decide to go for that final curse there, which is interesting. Perhaps in the hopes of the other person clicking it and then outspeeding the other player. So Siatam is going to be the first one to go with a go for a rest here, which gives Fear some initiative, but he is also going to opt for rest. So it kind of hints at Sleep Talk, but I'm not sure. Siatam has not revealed anything yet, so he has the initiative now. He attacks first. Not that it necessarily... these are all speed ties, so... And Fear is going to go for a body slam. Oh, God, I have a hiccup. Oh, that's so uncomfortable. So, neither player has revealed Sleep Talk yet. Okay, Fear is the first one to reveal it. Siatam is... we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He could have Curse EQ, but it would be very weird. And there's a para, but Fear needs to connect and also get another... he needs to get a full para after that. But no, he rolls Curse. So that para didn't really matter all that much. Lately, we have seen that Fear has used Body Slam and Return. He has not used all that much Double Edge to my recollection in this season, which is very interesting, to say the least. Siatam is going to boost with that final Curse just to secure his health range, for just to make sure that it's safe, even if he gets a crit. Now with max stats, Body Slam isn't going to do all that much. But Siatam's yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, all right. So it would appear that Siatam doesn't have Sleep Talk because he didn't go for it. So Fear just switched out. That's all kinds of crazy, man. That's scary as hell. He went for a huge bet. And he got it. I guess he got it right. So I'm not sure what was obtained from this besides some information, but it's nice to see. So Siatam has his Cloister in, and Fear is gonna toxic Siatam's Cloister first. He feels okay with his Cloister getting spiked, as long as he knows he can spin away those spikes with his Golem. We do see a D-Knight. This is the second, I believe, appearance in this tournament. First being with D4 versus Fear. So, D-Knight, it looks to be offensive, but it's still too soon to tell. Golem. Golem may boom. It could be a turn to boom. He's not going to do that. He's going to use Rapid Spin. Fair. And now he can't roar. So what's he going to do? Is he going to scout? He goes for Zapdos, which, well, I mean, it does survive +1 Thunder. And there's our second double elect of the week. And on the other hand, we have Siatam with a team very similar to what D4 brought in all those weeks before, with T-Wave D-Knight and Elix. Maybe he has an offensive Tar. So this Curse EQ Lax is looking pretty strong, but there is one of Fear's optimizations. We have a Whirlwind Zap. There's Reflect on it as well, allowing it to stay awake, alive a little while longer. There's a Zard. Charizard in SPL. All right. That's cool. There's Raikou. Raikou's paralyzed. So Charizard is, well, I mean, I might as well give the viewers some rundown of what the hell it does. So Charizard is a belly drum sweeper. That's pretty much all you need to know. The moves it usually runs are Fire Blast, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and of course belly drum. Since it is at the same speed as Zapdos, there are certain offense teams it runs into where it is tied with the fastest Mon in that game. But that's a big if, because if there is a Gengar or anything like Gengar, Starmie, Alakazam, and a bunch of other Mons, then it doesn't outspeed. Hence why you want to spread paralysis. Though interestingly, Siatam doesn't have Body Slam on his Lax. So Charizard needs Waters out of the way, it needs Fast Electrics out of the way, and it needs Lax to be weakened, ideally. So with this Raikou paralyzed, the T-Wave makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, Lix is going to come in here. Very interesting. So this Zapdos is also not going to live forever. Or is it? He's going to... I bet Fear's going to Whirlwind here on this next turn. Okay, I bet wrong. Goes for a T-Bolt. And here he will possibly either switch or Whirlwind. Yeah. Basically, queuing for a turn for the Lax to be... You know, now the Lax has to burn 2 turns and all that stuff. So, yeah. Fear's going to attempt to spread some paralysis of his own. He does have to respect the D-Knight, though, because it runs Dynamic Punch. That's right. The pseudo-legendary with 130 base attack. It's really scary. They don't usually run Earthquake, and Raikou is pretty scary for the D-Knight, so he's going to switch out. Cloy is going to come in. Will it threaten a boom? Will Fear choose to keep this alive? He's going to go for the boom, and Siatam makes a correct call. So that's very nice. Of course, Cloyster is good into Siatam's team, but... Oh, and Golem is going to boom, too. So I like that. That's really interesting. Fear feels confident that he can win with his 2 electrics and Lax, and knowing that Siatam won't necessarily be able to wake up Snorlax without having to switch to it and then use 2 turns of sleep. So there's that. Have we seen all 4 moves on this Zapdos? No. We are yet to see what the 4th move might be. Interesting to double into Cloy there. Probably hoping to sack it so that way Lax can come in. Yep. I am so fucking smart. But I didn't remember that this Snorlax was at 67%. And here we see Machamp. And Machamp is a big problem for Siatam's team. Machamp with the Rock Slide. It also lives a Belly Drum Earthquake from Charizard. And it can deal a lot with Cross Chop. Machamp run Earthquake. It outspeeds Steelix. This thing is fucking scary. So yeah. Earthquake is going to take that out. And Machamp is looking to sweep. Charizard is going to have to get lucky. Land a Fire Blast crit of some sort. But Fear predicts and goes to Raikou. Goes for a Thunder. He cares more about killing Zard, I guess. And Snorlax will wake up, but it will more or less have to be forced to rest on the next turn. Fear going for an aggro play, knowing that Machamp lives +1 double edge, but has a chance of crit Okoing the Lax. With the recoil, it's probably going to go down anyways, so that's good on him. And now Zapdos and Raikou together are probably going to beat this. So yeah. This was also a very fast-paced game. Pretty interesting. It's too bad we didn't see Charizard perform any more than it did, but hey, you know, it is what it is. It's not even over yet. It's not even over. Either player can win. But now it looks kind of over. Have we seen that fourth? There is the fourth move. Hidden Power Ice. And the game is gone. Valiant effort. Nice try. Fear really capitalized. He just boomed early. And he's like, fuck it. It's now or never. So he knew that the Lax was asleep. It was weakened. And so he boomed 2 Mons. And he managed to take 1 down and weaken the Steelix. So yeah, a fair trade. And nice. Very nice. Very underrated game, honestly. Underrated strategy. Underrated Zapdos set. Good. And he's using the team. If you're not familiar, this team was used in GSC Invitational. However, Fear has made a couple of optimizations with Mono Lax. So yeah. All right. Let's move along to 2 Gargantuans here. And once again, I'm going to change a tune. Hoping that, of course, the volume isn't too high. So we got D4 versus M-Dragon. 2 Gargantuans, and this was a banger of a game. Bangin' ass banger. We got Lax versus Cloyster lead. So this already anticipates Raikou in the back. Reason being, these players that choose to lead with Cloyster prefer to have spikes early on Lax, and when they're facing Zapdos, they don't necessarily mind switching to a Raikou. Obvious reason is obvious. Okay, Cloyster misses that Toxic. What's he gonna do next? He's gonna boom. I like it. I like it a lot. And in comes Machamp. Uh-oh. Machamp time. Macho Man. Wait, is that why it's called Machamp? Oh my god. I didn't realize that. So he's going to get a Rock Slide, and at +1, Machamp 2-hit KO Zapdos with Rock Slide. Zapdos does not 2-hit KO Machamp unless there are spikes. And D4 going for a Charm, perhaps hoping for a miss. But unfortunately, that Umbreon is going to go down, and that's going to be the first kill that M-Dragon picks up. And he goes to the Raikou, and yes, I was right. There is a Raikou. Golem comes in. He's going to attempt a spin. But like I said in a previous week recap, Machamp, he doesn't care about those spikes. Yeah, the spikes are nice, but he's going to go and attempt to land some crits here. So D4 decided to stay in there. And now the Lax is looking kind of scary too. Winter Cherries. Oh, is that a shout out to me? And Jolteon. So we have 2 different varieties of double electric with one has a double evolution team. Growth Jolteon is pretty powerful. Gets a para on the Zapdos. Para into full para. M-Dragon's going to go straight to Lax. Should he have chosen to go to Raikou, that would have allowed the Jolteon to set up and BP. He's going to BP to Cloyster, of all things, which is interesting, if I do say so myself. And, oh, Lord, Thunder. Okay. So it's like if you can't beat double electric, bring triple electric. That was, I wonder if the spikes really mattered that much. It's so easy to blame D4 for going for those spikes there, but you'd have to think that when you're facing an opponent, you want to go for the safe play, and Thorlax is exactly the kind of mon to punish safe plays. To punish one specific safe play, which is, okay, I'm not threatened. I'm going to set up my spikes, and then later I'll pull off a boom. Instead, Double-Edged Thunder 2-hit KO the Cloyster. The crit doesn't necessarily matter. It's a roll, yes, so I guess it sort of mattered. But now D4 is down a mon, and if he had simply boomed, then that would have probably enabled his team a bit. But that also could have looked a bit obvious, hence why M-Dragon went for the Thunder there. Really good. I suppose M-Dragon is confident that with Cloyster out of the way, his Machamp can do a lot of work. And we see a Surf, and D4 scouts it, which is crazy. That's the crazy part. So Surf, and he goes back to Golem there. He might boom here. So Thunder, Double-Edged Surf. All right. Zapdos comes in, probably trying to catch a boom. And here we see Rhydon. Rhydon, this may be his debut, the #1 Pokemon, the first to ever be drawn by Ken Sugimori. And he's cursing, and he's pissed. He's pissed that he hasn't been featured in this season all this time, and he's setting up, and he's continuing to curse. Just a big fuck you. He's going to roar, phase that lax, and this Golem doesn't do shit. Does 27%. Could have crit, of course. And Jolteon probably has HP Water. So back in comes the Lax. But it's Thunder, Double-Edged Surf. This could even have Boom for all we know. Rhydon is going to come back in. He's not afraid of this guy. He's going to set up. He resists Double-Edge, and then he's going to phase him out. So he's going to use the Lax, and then he's going to throw him away like a tissue. Just, I don't care. I'm going to blow my nose with your pitiful damage. Hello? Do forgive me. I thought I heard someone come in the house. Whew, I was pretty spooked. I'm not gonna lie. All right, 45% +2 Earthquake, and God, do I love this! I love Rhydon. Rhydon, my favorite GSC mon. It just sets up and phases and slaps the shit out of people. Gets what it wants. It needs a lot, though. It needs a lot to be successful, and that's exactly what M-Dragon gave it. He's like, fam, I know what you can do for me, and I'll do what I can for you to do it. We thought that Machamp was the threat. Here we have a double electric Machamp Rhydon set. absolutely bodaciously slapping d4. And for the first time in this SPL, it looks like d4 is going to lose. Of course, you can never count out Zapdos, but if it gets crit, maybe you can. Oh, but it rests up. Okay. All right. Damn. I really like this. Jolteon is going to get chipped. It's on life support now. Gonna use growth. He's gonna hope to get another one. Gets crit and parried for his troubles. That's a cue for M-Dragon. He's gonna go straight to Lax. And he's gonna just pull the pin. Yup. Bam. Oh. And M-Dragon says, never predict against the dragon people. You got that right, brother. Holy fuck. Oh, okay, this was deserved. He deserved this win. He broke 2 streaks this season. He broke Conflict's win streak, which was supposed to be like 5 in a row at the time. And now he comes in and breaks D4's win streak. It's still a mighty record. But now M-Dragon is also in the conversation, and he's won 4 games and lost 4 games. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a fulfillment of Gorgie's prophecy? Opinions being strongly held by the pioneer of GSC himself? I'll leave that for you guys to decide. In the meantime, we have some more games to commentate. BIHI. I don't know what team this is. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what awaits us. We'll see. I'll keep the same tunes for this one. Eggy. A bit of a trademark for Alice, it would appear. Going for that sleep powder turn 1, unfortunately capturing Zapdos, which is the #1 sleep talker of this tier. Even more commonly seen with sleep talk than Snorlax himself. Yes, the queen of GSC. 4, he's going to come in and Flamethrower. Where have I seen this before? Oh yeah, last week, I think. Anyways, Flamethrower Relax, going to chip that 4. Cloyster is going to get a nice Toxic on the Lax. The Lax is most likely not Sleep Talk. So the Toxic is going to put the Lax on a timer. A nice Surf crit with some nice recoil. The Cloyster can boom. The Lax is in range. Uh-oh, what's going to happen? 4, he can't spin away those spikes either, so that's going to stick. But, oh no. Was that an over-prediction? Or maybe it wasn't an over-prediction, and Alice has a team that I think she has. We'll see. In which case, we'll come back to turn 9 after that. So, T-Tar is going to come in and use Roar. Interestingly enough. So, the Lax got away with it this time around. Golem. And Golem is going to spin away those spikes. He doesn't care, but it's going to get chipped in the process. Never mind. The Golem does not spin. Now it's in range of Earthquake, though. And, ooh. BIHI just called out Alice. Wow, that was okay. And BIHI called me out, too. Call me a fool. So, you know, I'm not saying that all T-Tars switch out of Golem, but some people would think to spin, especially with a weakened Cloyster. in the back. You know? Like, chances that you're going to remove the spikes are pretty high. Instead, BIHI decides to go for Earthquake. Alice, putting the golem in range, knows that the golem has to watch out now because it's slower. And so, BIHI could switch out, Alice thinks. Therefore, I will click Pursuit, she says in her mind. And that's exactly what she does, but BIHI stays in. Fuck. But who knows? Maybe that doesn't pay off for BIHI. That might be a huge blunder. It could be a good play or a huge blunder, and we'll find out just now. And there's a boom. Okay, so turns out that on turn 9, the Cloister could possibly have boomed, but BIHI called her out and went for rest. Sort of. Called her out. Sort of. So, at this point, Alice is in trouble, but not without answers. She still has 4 perfectly healthy mons, 2 unrevealed, versus BIHI's 1 unrevealed and 6 semi-healthy mons. Well, 4 healthy mons on their side as well. And a nice crit psychic spadef. Blam. You know what would have been better than that? Okay, I don't understand that not clicking sleep talk there. Oh, wait, hang on. Okay, so okay, so the Zapdos never rolled rest. So there was only a small chance that it was going to wake up on the next turn. It was not guaranteed. I don't know if they misread that. Anyways, the Zapdos goes down, and here is the 50 millionth, the 10th double electric team in 4 games. Somehow there have been more double electrics than there have been games, than there have been teams. Okay. It's kind of daunting. Alice continues to do the thing that no player should ever do, which is apologize for RNG. Don't do that, because you'll feel so sorry for yourself when something bad happens to you after you apologize. It really curses the game into the other person's favor. So Alice gonna boom. The Raiku's weakened. The Gengar is healthy. The Machamp is scary. The Golem is whatever. Oh, and the Machamp gets put to sleep. Gets Cloroxed. Golem's gonna spin for possibly for free. Or not. Or it's gonna boom. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't spin before, why the fuck should you now? I mean, no, it's probably useful to spin, but I'm just looking into the psychology here, and Thunder is possible. A Thunder KO can happen, and yes, it lands. I honestly thought there was a Marowak, but after I saw the Cloister boom, I don't know. Alice brought a nice core of Psychic, Dark Fighting, and Eggy Tar Champ. And now this Snorlax is asleep, which is kind of annoying. But it's Flamethrower, so it's most likely Sleep Talk as well. The Fori is dead, so really it's just a 1v1, but it's kind of a pointless 1v1 where BIHI has to hope to hacks and get all of the favorable RNG to win. So Alice is not going to give that to them. Alice is going to try and chip the Gar and expend as much PP as possible. Of course, a Flamethrower would be a death sentence. A Flamethrower burn. So, but for now, that hasn't happened. And we don't know quite yet. But there's a T-Bolt crit. That does matter. Flamethrower. And the Gar most likely has explosion last. So once it runs out of ice punches and T-bolts, it's going to be a problem. But it does have a lot of PP because of the hypnosis. So there's that. So we'll see how Alice plays around all of these factors. If it will manage to outstall the Gar, that's nice. If it doesn't, BIHI still has to beat Zapdos, and it would have to do it with ice punches, of course, because it's not going to beat it with T-bolts, barring luck. So being very, very what's the word? I guess parsimonious with these ice punches. I'm not sure if that's actually a word in English, but I do know it's a word in Italian, and I mean, there are Latin words in English, so a blank hypnosis because it's meant to burn PP here. T-bolt crit, ice punch, freeze? Nope. All right, more of this. Flamethrower. Alice does things, another flamethrower. Another flamethrower, no burn. Ice punch. And no, in this generation, fire moves do not thaw the Pokemon. Only Flame Wheel does. And Flame Wheel is an unmove. It is not used in any known meta of Gen 2. So, yeah. If you get frozen, tough shit. You know, that's it. More or less. Yup, there's the crit, and so the game is over. Okay, well, good job. This Machamp wasn't nearly as much of a toxic masculine meathead as the previous two Machamps we've seen, but yeah. All right, on to the next set. Where are we gonna see another bodybuilding Machamp plow through a team? Find out now in this game here, and I'm gonna put in this song. I'm gonna put this. Okay. Conflict versus 4Gs. 4Gs is, I believe, 3-0. Conflict is like 5-2 or something. Yeah, 5-2. Zap, gonna stay in on the coup, and it has Thunder, so it's looking to paralyze. So this might be a paralysis offense team, and yes, it gets the Thunder. On turn 3, Lax comes in. G's is going to rest early, but it's going to get forced out. Lax is going to set up. Cloyster can, of course, go for spikes. Going to Toxic first. Prefers to do that. We see a Body Slam, so it's not nearly as threatening. It means that the Cloyster could live one extra Body Slam. It can go for a spike. It can do things. It can do a little dance. It can risk things if it wants to. But going to Golem is obviously very scary here, because if it gets parried, then it's not quite in range of an EQ, but, you know, whatever. 4G's making some really funny, awkward-ish dances, and this looks kind of like an offense team, but it could be another boring double electric. I would not be surprised at this point. But who am I? I'm just a guy sitting in a chair in my own mom's room. There's Gengar. Come on. Let's see some Heracross. Let's see something nice. D-Punch. Slapped in the face. That's what T-Tar gets for being a good Pokemon. Bam. Fuck you. You don't get any turns. 0 turns of actability. Eggy. Eggy's really good into 4G's team. Crit. A critical crit. Oh, Moltres. Okay, I'll give this team a 7 out of 10. I'll give 4G's team a 4. I rate Moltres teams, and this one is acceptable. As long as it has charcoal. Otherwise, it's unacceptable. Okay, Raikou does Raikou things. T-Bolt. 4Gs is not really super pressured right now. We have not seen any spikes whatsoever. Does Conflict have a Lovely Kiss Lax with which to break 4G's team? He does successfully boom on the Lax, on the opponent's Lax, that is. He's going to rest here with Zap. And his phaser is gone, but it doesn't quite matter so much. At this point, we haven't seen any spikes, so there's not going to be any spike shuffling coming from Conflict. He's just going to stay in with the Zap. Probably just Scout. Maybe this is a tell. Oh, wait, no. We already saw that the Lax has is Curse Body Slam Rest Talk. Okay. Well, then that's pretty unlucky. Because 4Gs has a bunch of booms and a Mon that eats Eggy for breakfast. In comes the Moltres. Yeah, probably good on him to go for the Sleep Powder there. Just a small Q. Zap's going to come in. It can potentially do something here. Sleep Talk Flamethrower. Okay, I don't love that, but I hope it's Charcoal. I guess maybe judging by the damage it is. I'm not really sure. My head calcs on Flamethrower are pretty bad. And yeah. Gengar is going to come in every day of the week here. But Conflict might have some tricks. He might have a fifth move. Nope, he stays in and he gets trapped by a Perish Gar. This Lax is as good as dead. It's cadaverific. Dot, says Conflict in the chat. That's his only comment. He is without words. He's setting up. He's going to hope to just smack something hard. But he gets dynamic punched as well. So, yeah, he's going to try and hit something on the next turn where this Lax is doomed. It's destined to die. I guess now could be a time for a fun little fact. Perish trapping does not work in-game. Because... Ooh, that's a late Surf. Ice Beam. Sorry, late Cloyster is what I meant to say. It looks like this Cloyster is also gonna. Never mind. I was just kidding. But is this Rorku? Probably not. No, because I'm stupid and we already saw that it's Sleep Talk. Sorry, guys. Uh-oh, says Zapdos. I'm in trouble. Oh, I didn't loop this. Oh, whatever. Raikou gets chipped, or Aggie gets chipped, and the game is over. Yep. Nice. That's very interesting. Okay. So Conflict went for a very old school-ish, at first sight, team. However, I believe this is actually some sort of innovation of his own, but his T-Tart just got double D-punched and died. So he had no way with which to respond to this Perish Trap Gar. And Gengar is broken as hell sometimes. I like 4G's team. It's very ADV-esque in a way. You got your Rock Resist. You got a Gengar that does stuff. You have your Moltres, which pairs well with Gar. You know, you have your spikes and whatever. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Century Express's team is a proven team that was used by either Fear or Sulcata many years ago. It's at least 4 or 5 years old. Jester's team is alright. I think it's pretty good. I'm just recapping the teams now for some reason. That just escapes me. Fear and Siatam both brought nice teams. I would say Fear's is a little bit better, but we already know that Alice won the GSC Invitational with these same 6 Pokemon. The difference is that Alice would use Lovely Kiss Double Edge EQ, Lax, and then 2 Sleep Talkers. Fear decided to go a completely different route and double up the special defense by making Lax a Sleep Talker, and basically just the best win con in the game, while having Reflect as a secondary phaser on Zapdos, which is really nice because Zapdos can come in a couple of times, counting on the fact that it doesn't have to take any spikes damage. And the Machamp is just there to capitalize off of the booms, and it makes everybody's life easier. The offensive synergy here is just never-ending. It's just a never-ending motor. Everything feeds off of each other, and this is the kind of double electric that I just love. But yeah, but this is it's such a different twist on old style double electric with Raikou, Skarmory, and all that crap. That, for me, I don't know. It's a hill I will die on. T-Wave. Yeah, Siatam's team is also pretty nice. This feels more like a ladder team, you know? I've seen this a lot. I've run into this kind of core quite a bit, if I do say so myself. The exchange with the Lax at the beginning was a little bit iffy, I suppose, considering you have Curse EQ and it doesn't beat Mono Lax. So it's not as good for you to make that risk, but he was possibly counting on the fact that he could rely on licks or something. So it's just a matter of decision making. M-Dragon bringing a very similar team to Fears, but much more fast-paced, much more offense-oriented, and not really looking to last long. It's not looking to stick around or overstay its welcome. Set the spikes up as soon as possible and gone, you know. It didn't even need the spikes all that much, but it set them up and it boomed. That's what it did. And immediately the Machamp took a kill and it murked the Umbreon. D4 did, I believe, use Umbreon at least one other time in this SPL. Not that you could consider that a valuable enough scout into an opponent, but it looks like M-Dragon just defied all the expectations. Just when we were starting to think that D4 was the one to just believe in, M-Dragon comes in and he just schools him. He's like, "You're new school, man. I got this." So this team is great. I like it. The boom offense really enables these two guys. I've used Lax, Dawn Champ, and Jinx before, so this is really interesting. I'd like to try it out, honestly. I'm not sure I like D4's team all that much, but I haven't really seen it be used to the full potential, unfortunately. It looked to me like it was some sort of a fish, but it didn't work out because he just happened to have a team that got more or less 6-0'd by Machamp, and there was also a Rhydon. So yeah. Alice's team, yeah, it's good. Psychic Dark Fighting is pretty underrated. Or I guess you could call it grass rock fighting. But it's cool. I like this team as well. It kind of resembles the team with the Marowak. Kind of. Not really. BIHI's team is interesting. It's a little bit more balancy. It doesn't have a Skarmory and instead has a Fori. That's all I have to say. The Fori didn't really do much. 4G's team is pretty good. I don't know how successful This Gengar would be into all different kinds of teams, but Gengar and Moltres together are pretty good. Perish Gar as an enabler for Relax is very much a fish, but it all went for the best for 4Gs, so good on him. And so we do move on to predictions, although one game of Week 9 has already been played. So let's see if I can go to the predictions without revealing the weeks. That would probably be the smart move to make. SPL. I gotta go to GSC. And we go to predictions. Here. So, possible. Oh, yes. We finally get it. We finally get the game. The best game. Conflict versus Fear. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see this game. And one of these other games was already played, so I'm just going to pretend like I have a prediction on that matter. So, anyways, Conflict Fear hasn't been played yet. And I say, yeah, I'll share this opinion here of that our buddy Gorex has open right now. Well, that didn't really help much, but Fear, to me, in the later weeks of this SPL, has looked a little bit better than Conflict has. That's just my 2 cents. He wasn't really getting paid off in the beginning, and he started a bit slow, but he seems like he found his ground. This is going to be an absolute fucking banger. The 2 best players in GSC facing each other for a tournament game. Jester Hyoga. 2 players that have been looking to prove themselves in SPL. Hyoga, I can't say that Hyoga hasn't had his chances, but he did not perform mighty well. Not in this one and not in a previous one. Jester has a positive mentality, but I don't know if he necessarily has the skill set to beat Hyoga. Well, of course he has the skill set, but you know, it's one thing to say it, and there's another thing to, you know, go out there and beat the guy. Hyoga's a pretty high level opponent to face, and he can catch you off guard if he feels motivated, because it's unlucky. It's more like a luck factor. Like, am I going to face hungry Hyoga, or am I going to face not motivated Hyoga? And I don't know. Of course, Jester has a shot. It would be silly to say that he doesn't. D4, but I'm bolding Hyoga. D4 versus Century Express. This is a bit iffy. Now that we've proven that this man is not made of diamonds and he is a human, I guess we've all come to our senses and we can start to think, well, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, Century Express can beat D4. If there's someone who can do it, you know. And who knows? Personally, I felt like I was very stupid all these weeks for predicting against D4, so now I'm going to predict for D4. Just because I would feel like an idiot if I did it just one more week and then I don't get the prediction right. Ugh, this music. I don't know what this last one is. Oh, it's still same guy. I'm gonna stop the music there. Sorry, it was a bit distracting. Siatam false. I predict Siatam. If he can bring a nice team, it always boils down to that, in my opinion. If he can bring something nice, if he can get the time to practice and prep with it, yeah. And I definitely bold M Dragon. Although 4Gs has won 4 games, so if logic is with me, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4. And then he won't win no more. D for defeat. And so his 5th game is going to be definitely a defeat. So I'm bolding M Dragon. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. And wow, exactly 1 hour. All right. Take care. That's all I have to say. Bye.